Hello guys, in this session, let's learn a feature called YANK. Okay. We have seen this a lot in the layout, but then, we haven't used it or not many people know how to use YANK. Okay, if you go over here, edit and basic, and you might have used chop, merge, paste, and all of this. You have come across this feature called YANK, but you never bothered to use it or never knew that how to use it. Okay, so in today's session, let's learn what exactly is YANK and how to use it. Now, this feature helps you copy the routes hierarchically. It's nothing but an extension of copying, but this feature comes in handy when you are dealing with groups or hierarchical designs. Okay, so that's where it helps you. Okay, let's see how it works. Okay, now I have just for example, I've got this layout over here. I've got this route. Okay, and I've created a group over here. This works on the hierarchical designs as well, but for the sake of explanation, I have just used a bunch of inverters connected, converted them into a group. Even this routing as well is converted into a group, just to create a superficial level of hierarchy to demonstrate YANK. Okay. Now observe over here, when you use the YANK feature, right, you can crop. I mean, when I say crop, it doesn't mean you're chopping it. You can select any portion of the layout and it creates a copy of that in flat mode. Okay. It creates a flat version of the section you try to copy. Okay. So let me show you how it works. Now this is a group here. Okay. This is just a group which I just created. Now let me go here and say edit basic yank. Okay. I'll just copy this portion here. Okay. This top right corner portion. Okay. I've copied it. Now you need to paste it. Okay. You can press Shift Y or you can go to edit basic and say paste. So to perform the yank operation, you press Y, and to paste whatever you have copied over there, whatever the box you have drawn, press Y. Now if you observe here, and I'll just press escape. If you observe, I had drawn a box only on this particular region, so it was able to copy only this and in a flat mode. Okay. Now this, we are trying to copy something which is below one level hierarchy or two level hierarchies here. If you observe here, I have drawn a box which chopped this certain tiny portion of the tab. Same thing is implemented over here, over here, over here. Right? Now this feature, how are you going to use this feature in your work? Right? Now, okay, what's the fun in doing this? Okay, it doesn't make sense. But when you're working in certain scenarios, at wherein you don't want to rework a lot, you want to copy the routes, you want to make similar routing. Right? If two people are working on two different versions, let's say, for example, okay, there is one version and there is another version. Okay, there is certain portion of the design here, there's another portion of the design here. Okay, this has got different specs, this has got different specs. Okay, similar design, but there are certain portions of the design wherein it requires you to have, this portion of the logic is different. Let's assume that. Okay, let's assume that certain portion of the logic is different here. This is different, this is different, this design is different over here. But this particular module is exactly the same. And you've got routes over here which are exactly the same. Right? In that case, what happens? I want to replicate the same routing of this. Now, this person, let's assume two people are working over here, okay, on the similar design, but with little bit of difference. And certain modules are exactly the same. The pins are same. Now, how do you work efficiently here, right? There's no point in two people working on the same routes, connecting same pins with same placements. It doesn't make sense. Okay, you can utilize your work more efficiently. Say, for example, the placement is same. You are working on this and your colleague is working on this module. Your colleague is working on this particular portion of the design wherein he or she has done the routes over here, right? And you have done the routes over here for this module, right? Now it becomes easy for you to look at this design. Placement is same, pins are same. You just yank this particular portion of the routing. You pull up the routing at that level of hierarchy and paste it over here so that you are not reinventing the wheel again, right? You are copying certain portion of routing, certain portion of a design which you want, which is exactly similar to yours, and then placing the routing over here. Many times it happens like 2 or 3 different colleagues working on different versions of the design, different modules, and then you realize that okay, these terminals are same. Okay, the routing is same. It helps you reduce a lot of work when you're working on different variants of the design. If you want to pull up the routing from different levels of hierarchy as well. Okay, that's one test case. Now over here, if I have to show you, this is a flat version. Now if I have to say, I want to, now here I had drawn a box and it had yanked all the layers. Okay. Now I want only some specific layers because you cannot yank everything, you know. I just spoke about selecting a particular route. How do you do that? Right? Now, what I would do is in this design, assume that I want to copy the route. Okay, I need only M3. So what I would do is I will select M3, okay, and then make it non-visible. Now this is at a lower level of hierarchy, okay. So just keep that in mind. I would say edit, basic, yank. I draw this, select this route. I say I can press Shift Y. Okay, to bring up this route at this level. Escape and just whatever. I think the wires are also there beneath. So now assume that I have copied. Now this is still one level below. When I did the yank operation, I'm able to get that at this level. Okay, so that's one easy way of copying the routes. Here, this is at a different level in a different module, and I have been able to, by using yank, I'm able to copy only that particular metal routes. Okay, that's how I was able to pull out only metal 3 connections over here outside at a next level of hierarchy. Now, let me show you another example here. Let's assume that I need to make a connection. This is another module. Let's assume that this is another module and I want to copy these M2 routes only. I don't need this, right? I want M3. The placement of these lines is exactly the same over here. Okay. From another module, I just want to copy only this, right? So what would I do? I will just copy only the M2 routes over here. I'll just say edit, basic, yank, just draw a box. I'll press Shift Y. I'm able to get these routes. You see that the wires also are copied over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is just a test case which I'm doing. Right now, you can create a group of this here, and you can very well align your exactly the same as this one. Okay. This is just a simple test case trying to show you how you can utilize the yank feature to pull out the routes from one module to another or from lower level of hierarchy to a higher level of hierarchy, trying to teach you the efficient way of doing routing. You two people in the same team working on different versions of the design or different modules, in spite of having different, similar modules in their designs, you don't have to repeat the work. You got to work efficiently, right, as a layout engineer. So that's where you copy the routing and place it this way. Thereby, your share of work is reduced to a greater extent. So that's about the yank feature. Thank you.